It's exactly what you're saying. We've got different kinds of functionality. We need to build different networks. We allow the network controllers to begin to build different networks on the basis of that functionality. Now, I don't disagree with you that video providers ought to be able to say, if you want video quality service, here's the price. And if you want web quality service, here's the price. I don't have a problem with that. The problem I have is them saying, if you, Google, want web quality video quality service, here's the price, and here's the problem to YouTube. And the reason that's a problem is that we have an opportunity right now for them to use their monopoly power at one end of the network to skew development of applications and content in the network. You keep on talking about the backbone. I agree with George. If we had effectively infinite capacity and we had a competitive market, which we do effectively with the backbone, and we have a competitive market with caching, there wouldn't be a problem here. But the whole point is that we've got a network where 98% of the broadband is being carried by two methods, and this duopoly that exists basically everywhere in the country has a business model before them. How do we begin to extract rents so that we, like the cable companies, we, like the cell phone companies, begin to take some of this wealth to ourselves? And the consequence of that is the same as it always is: less wealth for the economy as a whole.
And the cell phone example is a very good example of how limited bandwidth results in restrictions. This is an engineering problem that the cell phones face. They have limited bandwidth in their areas, so they naturally have to restrict access in all sorts of ways. And as wireless bandwidth expands, there'll be more and more network neutrality from your point of view.
If that's true,
the key point is expanding bandwidth.
Why aren't they arguing?
It won't happen if you let the politicians and lawyers back in the midst of the network. That's
George, if that's true, why aren't they arguing for totally unlicensed spectrum?
Well,
you and I both know that will increase capacity, right?
Because the technologies have all been developed for and optimized for licensed spectrum. It's a complicated thing to create all the new technologies that make it possible to all the software, radios, and everything that make it possible to have truly unlicensed access to spectrum. I hope that happens. Experiments are being conducted today with the ISM bands and a whole set of new bands, and there's going to be lots of experimentation with unlicensed spectrum. But if you're handling billions and billions of phone calls and other internet access from mobile uses, it helps to have control of the spectrum.
This is not a technical point, it's a business model point. They fight the unlimited spectrum you would like the world to see because it's harder to make money in the world of unlimited spectrum for them. They are pushing to increase the capacity for them to control broadband access, whether it's spectrum or wires. And both of those are about producing exactly the market that you should be opposing, a market where the network itself is exercising control over the innovation. Telecosm, page 199, right? Intelligence in the network actively impedes innovation. Yet that's exactly the architecture they're pushing, both at the spectrum level
well,
and...
there's a battle, and the two architectures are, this whole conference is about that battle, and we had a great speech last night by Terry Turpin about why the all-optical dumb network will ultimately prevail. There are other people who have other views. It's a fascinating technical issue. It's not a legal issue. As a matter of fact, regulations do not help resolve that issue.